Let's begin. Good morning, all. So today's our GD topic is war a solution? What is the impact of war on common people, especially in India now and in the future? What are the alternatives way to solve international issues?
So thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to have a discussion, to start a discussion on the topic, today's topic, war. What is the impact of war on our on common people? As per my opinion is that war is not the good thing. War happens only just because of the greediness of few peoples. Okay, and because of the war, it is really impacting everyone suffers a lot with this war, not just financially, but they will have a long term impact. So as an example, families from whom participated in the war, like a soldier, they lose the family member in the war, and with that they have a big impact, long term impact in them. Also, along with that, society which is suffering from the war will have a financial impact. Everything will get impacted, and especially if you talk about the countries, our country, who is the biggest country in terms of population. So such a wars will definitely have a big impact. India, China countries, and that to put down some pause on the progress the country trying to do. I would like to highlight these points. So if anyone have other opinions, they also can agree and disagree with.
Continue, anyone?
Yeah, I agree with you, Mayur. War is definitely not a solution for anything because of war, we are facing a lot of issues for in the long term and short term as well. In short term, if we say that, like suppose right now we are facing issue with the LPG gases or petroleum things, right, in our India. I mean, where the war is going on, there also they people also they are facing a lot of issue in terms of not only the only petroleum gases or anything, but food, education, everything is they're facing issue, right? So yeah, the war is not good for in terms of war is not good for everyone. We can say that here.
I agree with this point. Actually, war is not a solution for at all, as we are the witness of the history, and we know that how it happens for the Japans when America tried to be experimented a nuclear bomb, and how this humanity has been destroyed completely, and they are still suffering over the 10 decades as well. And we should be solve these problems on international platforms like a NATO. There are a lot of countries are involved in this, and they should solve this problem with amicably, and which would be suitable for every country. Because of war, the countries are dependent on each other. Is most impacted part is the trade war. There is we are the witness of the trade wars, how does this happen. Sometimes the US countries rise the petroleum costs or other petroleum products which rise in the markets, and it's affecting the countries like in China, India, the Nepal countries. The inflation is really is a huge factor in this war. So we should be very careful when we are attacking on other countries.
Yes, I also agree with these points. So basically, in war results in massive destructions and losses many lives of humans, and it takes a long-term suffering for common people as well. So I think war is not only the solution competition, but this affects the present, but also impact the future generation, and it destroys peace as well. So I think peaceful discussion and cooperation are much better option for war.
So for the war, as we know that USA also lost lots of money during this. They almost spend $1 billion per day just to go into the war. So we can see that USA government misused the taxpayers' money. Like people's hard-earned money for the development of themselves, but government using them in a wrong way. That is also a bad side of the what you say about the war. And I also want to say furthermore that war also closes pathways to the lots of peoples. Like many people have to relocate as soon as possible. As Indian government also launch one campaign that every Indian need to leave the Iran as soon as possible. That is also you have to left behind everything, and you have to relocate again. That is also a biggest part that people miss about the war, and they don't care about that. Other countries, people are facing the bad situation, and many Indians were trapped, and Indian have to involve and talk the peace talks, and also help to that also takes long time, and people also face lots of problems during that. They cannot travel So people also don't have a jobs. They don't know what to do in the sudden moment. That's also like many people face during this war.
Okay, Shailesh, one round. Yeah, Shailesh.
Hello everyone, good morning. Today's GT topic is war is a solution. So in my opinion a little bit changes with others, and it's different than others. Why? Because I believe that war is not the long-term solution, but it's way to solve the conflicts, and the this is the fulfilling war is the fulfilling the individuals interest. Actually, if you see in the modern world, some countries are starting their wars to just justify their financial goals and their military superpowers. And if you consider the history, if you see the war history, raising the sword against the enemy for your existence is nothing but the good thing. If, for example, if Marathas won't raise the sword against the enemies, then we might have not seen the Hindus or the all the Marathas in this land. So the sometimes war is the very crucial for our existence. Yeah, but in the modern world, war can be avoided by different ways or different alternative methods. And war have a different impacts on the common peoples, especially in India, like oil crisis and inflation, then financial problems, then raising the value of degrading the value of rupee in the international market. Then if and these are the some common problems which we are still facing due to the US and Iran war, where indirectly that is happening. I mean, that the impacts of this war is on us, and is we are facing the impacts of this war. And then there are so many alternate ways to stop the war or to resolve the conflicts in the international issues, such as negotiations, dialogue, then table talks. So to create the peace in the world after World War II, all the countries came together and created United Nations, where the main agenda was to resolve the all the issues between the individual countries and now spread the harmony in the world. But for example, the India itself moved his Kashmir issue, which was like a military base for both the countries like India and Pakistan. But after that, we choose the peaceful way and we raise the Kashmir issue in the UN. This might be the one of the alternate way to resolve the.
If someone wants to
So
add, they can add. Okay, interfere
But
him. They can
but
interfere.
but Shailesh, right? But Shailendra,
yeah.
that as you mentioned, right, the India has decided to put his issue between Pakistan and India to in the UN, but that has caused so many delays and that has caused many wars between India and Pakistan, right? If Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel had decided at that time, or Nehru agreed to him, so they would have taken the Jammu and Kashmir once for all, right? And we would have not the issues which Jammu and Kashmir are right now facing, right? That would have not been occurred. I have also different opinion. I have mentioned one opinion, but I also along with that I also have one more opinion, that the person who stops fighting, right, and he will lose his dignity if person who stops fighting. Okay, so everyone should at some stage, right, they should keep on fighting with for something. Okay, for his self respect, for his dignity, okay, to maintain his dignity, for his sovereignty, he has to fight. If you take an example of Iran, right, if Iran would have stopped fighting, then they would have lost their dignity, they would have lost their sovereignty. Every country so have their own sovereignty and they should maintain that. In similar cases, I would also like to take mention one more example. If you talk about the ancient India, right? If you talk about the empire which was built by Maurya Empire, right? And that was built by Chandragupta Maurya. After that, 2 3 generations it was maintained, and Samrat Ashok has made that empire, increase that empire in size more than that. But after Kalinga, right? After Kalinga war, he just realized that war is not a good. After that, right? He started to talk about decided to live his life entire life is in peace.
I want to add one more point here actually. So right now, whatever the issue is going on, right? So right, Iran war or US war, right? So those are like just they are trying to prove like who is the best. Okay, who's want to like handle the all the economy or everything, right? For India, Pakistan is mainly for the it's related only mainly land part or some other internal issues.
The main thing
Yes,
is of the leadership qualities.
correct.
If you see about the US president, he's more dominant. Even the US citizen is opposing her, and the Iran is just protecting him for their existence, because they said earlier, a lot of wars has come on the Irans. They could not threat them anything. So if this is the situation on the India would be a same position in the Iran. They would say we are trying our best to save our country. And it's nothing is wrong. The main root cause is the mentality of the leadership. If the person is having a violent and he has a dominance, then it impacts to several countries. We have several examples. Even in the Hitler, what happens? He was the purely dominance, and the Third World War came, and ultimately all countries came into the world war unwillingly. Something. This is what happens in the war. The war is definitely is not a solution, and the humanity is the should be given the highest priority.
War is only gives temporary result as well, not permanent solutions. So I think conflicts often continue even after wars ends. So peace cannot be achieved by violence. So I think impact of war on common people are more. For example, many people become homeless and their healthcare system also collapse because of war, and many war destroys not only cities but also dream of every people as well. So I think there are many alternatives of war. For example, we can talk peacefully and negotiations so they can solve many problems effectively. So I think meditation by nutrition neutral countries help to solve conflicts as well. So there are many powerful dialogues than destructions as well. So I think organizations like United Nations can play the important role in this type of wars. So there are many alternatives for war.
Okay, last we have 10 minutes only.
You see the current situation of US and Iran war, the main conflict of the main issue or major part why this war is going on is because of the global dominance. And if you see the Gulf countries, the politics here, you will see that everyone follows the US path actually, including the Saudi, Egypt, and then nowadays Kuwait and the Iraq is also following their path. So one nation which is producing oil more than the other Gulf countries, and this was the one major part of the US-Iran conflict. And after that became the Iran's sovereignty, and it came to the pride of the nation. So they took it as their personal pride, and from then Iran is into the full war. So in this war, India is not directly involved, and India is not directly impacted like the public relocation or the
But
or
Shailesh, what
the
do you think? Means
including.
Iran is doing right thing or wrong thing?
Yeah, for me, Iran is doing right thing.
So
In
it's not about like a global dominance also. US, as we know that USA is in a huge debt, like $40 trillion. So they just trying to attack on the countries who have natural resources like petroleum or any minerals, right? So they are not just threatening the Gulf countries also. They also threaten the Norway also for their natural resources. So they are just more focusing on to like control the nations, right? They also control the Venezuela, because Venezuela is currently the largest oil reserve nation.
Reservoir.
So they
Hmm.
also fearing the nation will go against them for the petrodollar. They are just rely on the petrodollar. So Venezuela also had a deal with China to they will do any kind of transaction in Venezuelan oil in Chinese yuan. So that was also a
But
scary part for the USA, that
but
like
but Akash,
they're going to
this is a
lose the
problem.
biggest market in the world, like Venezuela. And
This
also
is a
they
pro This is a problem with the superpower country, right? Because
yeah,
they just wanted to dominate. If they are getting into the trouble, so and financial trouble, so they just wanted to they just have an eye on the others' property, right? And just because of that, they are started this war, and
you, you can
also like that.
you can see that, yeah, you can see that there are also, you can see that there are also more superpowers like China and Russia is there, but they are not involving in the war. They are just silent. It is not like they are scared about anything or anyone, but
But
they are not choosing the war.
Russia and
That
Ukraine
other
also
nation also look at them, that they
are in
also
war,
have,
right? Since last 3 years,
Yeah.
everyone has their own interests, and because of their own interest, right?
yes, I agree.
They are starting the war, they are finishing the war, they are just doing the discussions, something like that. India is not getting
Yeah.
involved just because they have its own interest, right? Even China is the same because they are evolving
Yeah. So as I
countries.
said
Yeah, I agree
earlier,
with that,
Mm.
because like
every country
I
have
also
their
agree with that.
interest.
China is not directly involved in the war, but they like supplies the money and weapons to the countries who are in the, like Russia also help Iran also to get the weapons like
trying
that.
to make money from this war because
Every superpower country wants to make a money. That's why they start the
exactly
war,
that is the
okay,
main
and
intention
just
here.
create the dominance on over. And everyone means other countries who has some kind of power, right? They should oppose them, okay. If they keep silent, they keep silent, right? In this situation, so a person will become a more dominant in that case, okay. If you'll take as an example, if US, France, UK has taken a stand against the USA, right? They would have not started this war.